Hey there, it's Alex with your local studio. Today we're going to talk about 3 things you should keep in mind when hiring a video editor. The first one up is, do you need an editor, a video producer, or an animator? And you may be asking me, you're like, oh, hold on a sec. I'm watching this video because I want to hire an editor. Why are you asking about the others 2? You need to be aware that sometimes you may have a mindset of what you want that's not actually what a normal editor would provide. It's not their skill set. For instance, if you want a lot of animation, motion graphics, a lot of building out or little explainer videos with characters moving on and off and think it's so cute and so seems so simple, that's an animation job. If it's what's created in a program called After Effects, that is a motion graphic artist's skill set. They live and breathe that, but it takes a lot of effort and time to do those. And realize, do you need really a motion graphics person, or do you need an editor? Someone who can put A-roll and B-roll together, cutting the footage exactly as you want at the right time, putting music and maybe a little bit of text or images to come up at certain points. And an editor's good. The other one was a video producer. In the corporate world, that's almost like a director. Someone who says, okay, this is all the footage we have. Now, what would be good to come up at this point? And what would be nice text here? And what would be a good image? Directing the whole process, creating an AV script or a storyboard, of figuring out how it should flow and how it should communicate. And a video producer can be an editor as well. They have that capability. Or sometimes they may be 2 people, an editor and a video producer. Realize, do you need someone who can provide all that creative input and direction and crafting the whole story? Or are you willing to play that role of the producer and just have the editor actually execute? Which brings us to our second thing to keep in mind, which is how involved do you want to be in the process? This is a very, very important question that I think many don't even think about. Or they assume, I'll hire an editor and they'll just take care of it all. Fantastic, wonderful. If you've used Upwork or looking at online platforms to hire an overseas editor, realize that most of the time, their role they're gonna play is, okay, give me the footage, tell me what you want me to do to it, and I'll do that. They'll make it happen. But you need to be very involved. You need to be aware of the amount of time it takes to say, okay, here's all the footage. I want you to take 1 minute and 30 seconds to 1 minute and 45 seconds. And I want you to take 7 minutes and to 8 minutes. And I want you to put this specific song clip beneath it. And I want you to have this text to come up at 2 minutes. You get the point. Being aware of how involved throughout the whole post-production process is going to make sure that you don't start kicking yourself in the end or hire the wrong person when you're thinking you're getting a different person to play a role. If you are playing that role of very involved throughout it because maybe your budget doesn't allow, or you just maybe enjoy video, then the next question or thing to keep in mind is, what's your editing pipeline? What's your post-production pipeline and process? Actually, I pull from our book here, the Marketer's Guide to Video. We have a whole section on when you're working together with an editor, what should you keep in mind? This is a huge thing because if you realize the steps that it takes, starts with creating that first rough cut. Okay, putting the A-roll down, and then they send that to you. And then you have to review it, make comments, send it back to them. Then they go to the next cut. They add text and graphics. They send that back to you, review. Figuring out that pipeline is going to make sure it goes very quickly. And then you can meet certain deadlines. If you don't have a process in place, you're going to be confused. Where are you? Where are they? Where are you going to be storing your content and your videos? Are you going to upload it to Vimeo or Dropbox or Google Drive so that you can send them the footage and then they can review it and edit it and then they can send it back to you? Where are you going to store your AV scripts, your comments, your requests? Is it going to be a Google Doc, which I'm a big fan of, that you can put all your information there, they can see that and make comments on it. Having that process in place so everyone knows where to look, when to look for it, and having also a timeline of when certain steps need to be achieved, of when the first edit needs to happen, how long you're going to give yourself to review it, and then how long will they need to edit that next piece so that everyone knows where they are in the process and who's doing what. Knowing and having a post-production pipeline process, if you're going to be playing an active role, is so important when you hire your first editor so that you're actually happy with the outcome and it's a good process and you actually get a great video in the end that you can use in your business. I hope these tips were helpful things to keep in mind when you hire your first editor for your business. I'm Alex with your local studio. Feel free to grab this book if you want, The Marketer's Guide to Video. Also try to create a handy-dandy checklist that you can download when you are hiring your next video editor. I will see you all next time. Bye.